So I'll catch everyone up real quick. In the year 2015, we got the base class of D&D. Later on, we got the Artificer, but what some people don't know is that in between the Artificer and all the classes, there was an attempt at creating a psionically based class called the Mystic. The Mystic had 5 years of development and was not finished due to fan backlash of it just being too overpowered. Just to make it crazier, one D&D, the current newest version of D&D, took 2 years to develop. The reason the Mystic did not work out was because of its abilities just being too complicated, too overpowered, and just feeling like it's in its own ass most of the time. But there was a beacon at the end of this tunnel, being the fact that the Mystic abilities were reworked into subclasses, specifically the Psy Warrior, Soul Knife, and I think the Aberrant Mind can be one of those. Now, in 1D&D, in the newest Unearthed Arcana, they are introducing the new class called the Psion. Now, is the Psion suffering from the same issues as the Mystic? Well, first of all, to figure out what issues the Mystic was suffering in the first place, we have to figure out what was Mystic's main problem. We're going to make a really quick rundown around the Mystic class so you know what I'm talking about. The Mystic was a class that had D8 for its levels, and it had basically all the same benefits and proficiencies as the Wizard at first, but it had a bit more armor and weaponry. It had a system called the Psionic Talents, which are basically cantrips, but renamed, and some of them were significantly better. For example, I remember there was this specific Psionic Talent, which was kinda like Flame of Radiance, one of those cantrips, I don't remember the name, but you could choose the damage type, which is actually really good. After that, you could choose a Psionic Discipline. A Psionic Discipline is similar to Warlock's Evocations or Blood Hunter's Curses, but the difference being that it gives you multiple abilities just by choosing one of the Psionic Disciplines. Down the line, you get to choose a lot of them. Some of the Psionic Disciplines were determined by your subclass, and honestly, some of them were really good. For example, if you're an Immortal subclass of the Mystic, you have a thing called Adaptive Body or Bestial Form, and each one of them had different abilities. Those were countless. I think at least each class had the minimum of 10, and considering there were like 5 subclasses for the Mystic, there were around 50 of them. For example, Bestial Form, for 7 to 1 psi points, lets you do slashing damage with your natural armor. As a bonus action, you can alter... Basically, you get a mini wild shape. No, it's even better than a wild shape, because you can take this at level 3, and now you have swimming and flying speed, which druids cannot do, despite having their wild shape. That encapsulates the problem of the Mystic very well. No one really thinks how Mystic would work with the other classes, and now we could get to his system. The Mystic used a system called Psi Points, which to Psionic Warriors may sound familiar, but this system is very different. You have a set amount of Psi Points each level. For example, you start level 1 with 4, you end level 5 with 27. And depending on what talent or discipline you're using, there's a different amount of psionic points that are required. There is also Psi Limit. There is a limit of points you can spend per discipline. For example, as a third level Mystic, you can spend no more than 3 Psi points on a discipline each time you use it, no matter how many Psi points you have. Which is kinda trying to limit the Mystic, but I never thought it really worked, because there's a very fucked up ability coming up pretty soon. We won't go after the subclasses just yet. Mystical Recovery is very fucked up. I just need to read it, and you will understand why. Second, you can draw vigor from the Psi energy you use to power your Psionic disciplines. Immediately after you spend Psi points on a Psionic discipline, you can take a bonus action to regain hit points equal to the number of Psi points you spent. Yes, you're basically not going down anytime soon. Then you have Telepathy, which is just free. It has 120 feet, I guess, it's fine. Then you have Strength of Mind, which is you can replace your Wisdom saving throw proficiency with any other proficiency in saving throws you wish, but this does not work if your starting class is a fighter, who has proficiency in Dexterity and Strength. No, Constitution strength, whatever. You see, like, this class does not seem to be working well with others. For example, potent psionics. You can infuse your weapon with the psionic energy, like mini smites, contemplative power. When activating a psionic discipline, you can pay psi points to coast with your hit points instead of using your... Oh yeah, you can use your hit points of psi points, which... I don't think a Mystic will run out of the psi points eventually, because there are a lot of very weird abilities which stop them from doing that. Then you have 9 special psi points with Psionic Mastery, which do different things, and etc, etc. Culminating in Psionic Body, which lets you respawn after 3 days of your death. Basically, Mystic is a prime dream of a min-maxer with the main character syndrome. Now, if you look at the subclasses, there's Avatar, there's Awakened, there's Immortal, there's Nomads, there's Soul Knife, Wu Gen. Soul Knife was reused as a rogue subclass. Wu Gen is basically a wizard, which is very fucked up. Nomad, basically. There are a lot of subclasses to the Mystic. The Mystic's main issue was that it was unbalanced, all the psionic disciplines were too strong, and you could take the psionic disciplines from other subclasses, so you could multi-class your subclasses at certain points. Now, how does the Psion address all these issues which we have and rework it into a different, better class? Immediately what comes to mind when I see the Psion is it's now a D6 class that is just has spellcasting. None of this fancy psi limit, psi point bullshit. Spellcasting, you have cantrips, you have spell swords, etc, etc. You know the jig by this time. Psionic power. You have psionic dice, determined to the die size and number of psionic energy to your table. It's similar to Monk's damage table. You have telekinetic propel as a bonus action. You can throw a guy. Temper connection. You have telepathy. Both decent abilities to level 12-1. You also have subtle telekinesis. You have mage hand cantrip, which is really good. So then you choose a psionic discipline, similar to how you chose them before. I believe this time around they're more balanced. I will look at them real quick. Now, Psionic modes is very interesting. As a bonus action, you can choose one of the following modes, granting you certain benefits for 1 minute until you use this feature again. I imagine this can be roleplayed as you changing stances and shit. Attack mode, damage from your weapon attacks, psion spells, and psionic features ignores the resistance to psychic damage. In addition, when you roll damage for a spell, you can expend 1 psionic energy die to reroll a number of damage dice up to your intelligence modifier. Ah yes, again, both the Mystic and the Psion are intelligence casters, which I'm really happy about. Defense mode is you have resistance to psychic damage. In addition, when you fall an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throw, you can take a reaction to expend 1 psionic energy die. Both are really good options to have at level 2. You can use this feature twice, and Then you choose a subclass. We'll get to the subclasses, because I think these subclasses are actually cool. Now, the next abilities in our list are not anything you can write home about. For example, Psionic Surge. When you roll initiative, you can expend 1 of your hit point dice and regain 1 expend use of Psionic modules. That's pretty understandable. In level 19 you get an Epic Boon, which I believe is the case for most level 24 classes. In level 20 is Enkindled Life Force. Once per turn, when you expend 1 psionic energy die and roll it for a psionic feature or psionic discipline, you can expend 2 of your hit point and dice to roll 2 additional psionic energy dice and add the numbers rolled to the total. Again, this psion really hinges on the psionic disciplines, so let's look at them. Biofeedback. When you cast a psionic spell from the Necromancy or Transmutation School, you can expend 1 psionic energy die and roll it. You get a number of temporary hit points equal to the number rolled plus your intelligence modifier. Destructive Thoughts. When you cast a psionic spell from the Conjuration or Evocation School and create and a creature you can see succeeds on a saving throw against the spell, you can create 1 psionic energy die and roll it. The creature takes psychic damage equal to the number rolls plus your... Okay, I didn't understand this one. Conjuration is a creation, so when you conjure animals and shit, who has to roll what? Because conjuration does not target targets. No, I guess they need to iron this one out. Devilish Tongue. gives you... It's very poorly written. When you take an influence action, which is weird, you add the psionic energy dice result to it. Ego Whip, you lower the hit DC rolled against you and make the creature slower by 10 feet. Expanded Awareness helps you with search actions. ID Insinuation helps with the enchantment delusions, and basically, if you look at all these, they are not that crazy because now they don't give you a shit ton of things, like for example, Bestial Form in 5e. These are very much buffs, and they do not hinge on everything, because now Psion is a spellcaster. His spells are not that crazy. They're decent, actually. They're mostly around charming the enemy, which I don't know how good that would be in battle, but you do have good offensive options if you look at some of the subclasses, but if you look at this, not so much. But we'll be looking at the new spells, for example, Tasha's Mind Whip, Telekinetic Fling. We'll look at them specifically later on as they appear in this PDF document. For example, but for now, let's look at the subclasses. The first one is Metamorph, which I think fucking rules. It's based on the symbiote, I think, from Marvel. You get organic weapons like a Bone Blade, a Flash Maul. You also get a Visceral Launcher, which you can transform your own arm into a crossbow. This is cool. That's my point. This is very much cool. You can extend your limbs. You can make your reach, speed, touch, and everything by 5 feet higher. You can have extra attack. You can have quickened healing. You have mutable forms where you can have a stony epidermis. What? Basically, Spirit Story. Holy shit! I'm reading this for the first time right now. In detail. Before this I just glanced over it, but Metamorph is really cool. My only issue is that it's not very practical with a 1d6 class, but life bending on this is cool. The Psy Warper is again a very cool one, which I have been wanting for a while. It's a teleporter subclass. Now you can teleport from place to place. When you cast Misty Step, you can you don't have to expend a spell slot. You can also cast a cantrip without any price for action or bonus action. When you cast Misty Step, when a creature you miss an attack roll, you can teleport yourself or someone else. You have mass teleportation. Basically, Psy Warper is a very straightforward class, but it's really fun to play as them. Psykinetic buffs your psychic abilities this time around. For example, you have talking techniques like Boost, Disorient, and Telekinetic Bolt. You have Empowered Attack Mode, and etc. etc. I won't go too deep into these because I honestly don't think Psykinetic and the upcoming Telepath are that interesting. They just take what you can do in base 5e. To me, the ones that stand out here are Psy Warper and Metamorph. Honestly, I don't think he needs to be a Psy Warper. You can just call him Warp or Warper. I fuck with it. I really like this one. Now let's look at the new spells. Intellect Fortress is a new spell. For the duration, one living creature you can see within range has a resistance to psychic damage. Pretty good. It also has a dimension of intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. Again, pretty good. Psychic Scream. You unleash the power of your mind to blast the intellect of up to 10 creatures of your choice that you can see within range. Creatures that have an intelligence score of 2 or lower are unaffected. Basically, and also you do 14d6 psychic damage. That's pretty good for a 9th level enchantment spell. Ralluthim's Psychic Lens. You unleash a shimmering lens of psychic power from your forehead at a creature they can see within range. Alternatively, you can utter a creature's name. A pseudonym, title, or nickname does not work. If the named target is within range, it becomes a spell's target even if you can't see it. If the named target is you can use... There was also Summon Astral Entity, which uses this stat block. There's Tasha's Mind Whip, which I mentioned before. You can the target must make an intelligence saving throw. When it fails, save the target takes 3d6 psychic damage and can make opportunity attacks until the next. Holy shit! Basically, Telekinetic Crush. You can all of these are pretty good. There are also new feats like Loud Talent feats, but I'm pretty sure not all of these are. Oh no, a lot of these are. Huh? Okay, some of these are not Psionic, or are they? I'm really confused about these. There's pyrokinesis, psychic. Okay. Wait, huh? Anyway, as you can see, the Psion is quite different from the Mystic. In fact, I would say it needs a bit of buffing, actually, because right now playing it as a 1d6 class is not very practical. Despite me wanting a 1 more d6 class for a while now, because it's weird that there is only Sorcerer and Wizard, but it having options that require you to go in close and use weaponry in battle, for multiple of the subclasses and even some core features is weird considering you have 1d6 per level, but I think this is pretty good. I honestly think they improved it very well. They made it more balanced, they made it more straightforward, and the Psionic disciplines are more balanced now. I am very impressed with the subclasses, actually. I really like the Warper. I do miss the Mystic's high skill ceiling, but also, what can you do? It was objectively too overpowered and it needed something to weaken it. You do feel bad for it not having its own unique system. I really like that. But for now, my opinion on the new Mystic, or Psion, or whatever you like to call it, is that it's usable. It needs buffing and patching and stuff like that. But right now, I would say, yeah, go on ahead, playtest the Psion, see if it works. Because I honestly really want a new class. We did get a homebrew new class in D&D Beyond, Ill Rigor, or whatever it's called, but it didn't scratch the itch, and I think the Psion is the right thing for it.